Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Vanguard Tactics. I'm your host, Stephen Box, and if you're interested in Warhammer 40k, then you're in the right place because, yeah, I love talking about Warhammer. That's it. I literally love talking about Warhammer. 42 days straight talking about Warhammer, and I think I've still got plenty more days to go left in me. So anyway, guys, I hope you are all doing well. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. We at Vanguard Tactics kind of specialize in competitive 40k, and every single day during this lockdown period I decided to go live to help bring the community together, feel a little bit less isolated, so that we can still get our hobby in, talking about the hobby, discussing some painting tips, my thought process on the game, some strategies, and all that good stuff. So what have I been up to today? Oh, and by the way, I answer all your questions. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please pop it in the chat. So, what have I been up to today? I had a nice little morning, actually. Decided to switch my working day around so that I start work at 10 in the morning now rather than 8. The reason for that is because I go live at 6. And therefore, if I start at 8, I've already done a 10-hour day before I go live, which means I'm not really going to give you guys my full energy. So I'm sleeping in a little bit longer, working at 10 until 7. So I can still have a good working day during this time. And that's what this whole lockdown is all about, is, changing your routine up to make sure it suits you, okay? So yeah, I had a really nice day yesterday. I carried on painting into the evening. I edited the podcast with me and Rich, and it is literally uploading as we speak. So there's going to be an audio podcast as usual, and then also video podcast. So that's going to be great, which is, I'm literally just waiting for it to go. It's all ready. It just needs to upload. So it's just taking ages though. So it'll probably still be on overnight. Also good news. I was interviewed by the podcast 40k today, and that came out a couple of days ago. So check that out, where I talk about Blood Angels. You know me, and I love to talk about Blood Angels. But as you can see, look at those beautiful, basically painting Harlequins all day yesterday. Sorry if this cut out a little bit then. What I'll do is just cut down some of the pages I have open, because I'm uploading this video. It may be sucking up some bandwidth, but yeah, I'm just going to save some of the web pages I was using some reference from, which I will talk about very shortly, as we're going to have a bit of a discussion about what I've been working on today for the Academy, as I've actually been working on a new module, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that module that I've been working on. It's something that I think is really unique to the Vanguard Tactics Academy, and I've done a huge amount of prep work for this, and I cannot wait to share it with the guys that are on the Academy. So, right, let me close this down as well. There we go. It should run a little bit better now. Right, so I'm going to dive. Oh, anyway, what have I been up to today? So I've been basically designing and looking at a academy, the academy module I'm now working on is event preparation. And in particular today, I've spent all day looking at how I had a really good hour-long chat with Jack and also Mark today. So I've had a lot of brainstorming today, all around how we prepare for events, especially in regards to terrain. So that's really, really underrated, I think, and we're going to talk a lot about that. Or that's what this this module is all about: is how do I prepare for an event? So we're looking at from the rules pack to terrain packs to then objective placement. There's going to be an entire lesson on objective placement. Yeah, there's going to be an entire lesson on that. I'm going to make the lesson slightly shorter, so rather than 40 minutes to an hour long, I'm going to hopefully get nice and concise to 20 minutes. So it means that will be And I think from a learning standpoint, it will be easier to them for people to watch back certain episodes as well. So I'm slightly rejigging the format ever so slightly to make it more user friendly. Yeah, so that's all good. Also, I'm going to be putting out a Survey Monkey to this is the real test. I'll be putting out a Survey Monkey soon to all of the guys on the academy, so they can tell me what they brutally think of the academy and what they've learned from it, and hopefully how it's helped them with their, just increase their enjoyment of the game, and also their passion for 40k as well. So put myself on the line a little bit, but if I've done a good job, then the feedback will be great, and there'll be some really nice, hopefully constructive criticism, like maybe keep the lessons a little bit shorter, maybe, who knows. Or maybe they'll just say, keep it exactly the same, we love it. Or they'll say, it's terrible, I still don't know why I'm on it. So who knows what will happen. Yeah. So anyway, so that's what I've been working on today. I think tonight I'm probably going to carry on. I started painting the solitaire, so did that today as well. So while I was on the phone to Mark, bit of multitasking there. So yeah, Harlequins are coming along now. I've done my Yvrain, or my 2 Shadow Seers, and I've done 4 troops, and I've done pretty much the solitaire. He could be done if needed. So my goal is I'm going to get up an hour early every day and just get an hour's worth of painting in, because I think in an hour I can probably get two troopies done. Yeah. And then yesterday I put an order in for a Chaos Knight, so I can complete my Chaos Knight army. I think I told you this already. And then some more Harlequin troops, so I can run my army that I want. But anyway, so I'm going to quickly dive into the chat. Henrik, Jack, Brian, Andy, David, John, Jack, Andy, Steve, McKee, Reptiles, Austin, Wayne, Prime Marley, Stephen, Night of the Day. How you guys doing? Robert, sorry if I've missed anyone. Matthew, Modeling for Advantage, Greg, The War Mistress, Crucia, how you doing? Hope you guys are all doing very, very well. So Andy said, am I still, well, actually, I'll go back up and actually answer some questions that I've missed. Greg Wynn 47 says, evening, what are you best and worst matchups? Okay, what are the best and worst matchups when playing Blood Angels? So anything that Tau is a horrible matchup. Very, very horrible matchup. Because I can't wrap anything, especially if it's all drone heavy. Drone and Riptide heavy is a nightmare. That's a real tough matchup. Mech Eldar, again, because everything's got the fly keyword, nothing can be wrapped, and it shoots horrifically. So, yeah, like night spinners and stuff just rinse you, basically, because of volume of shots. The Seer Council, don't like fighting that. Shining Spears, don't like fighting them either, because basically the Blood Angels don't really get an invulnerable save. So anything with a good AP, and Eldar normally have a good AP, just goes straight through you. So yeah, anything that's good AP and 2 to 3 damage, which is, let's be honest, D3 damage, which Eldar specialize in, it mainly strength 6. Yeah, Mech Eldar, bad. Drakari, Grotesques in Talos are bad because they've got a really good inburn save. So my good minuses of AP don't do anything. So yeah, those 3 are probably my worst matchups, I would say. Yeah. Marines, pretty good at killing Marines. Yeah. Night of the Day, my microwave machine spirit has appeased. So people are talking about which episode of 40k today was I on? Let's have a little look now. It was episode 40k today. Oh, my phone's died. Great. Hang on a minute. I think it's episode 49 was the most recent one. Yeah. Yeah. Episode 49 from 40k today. What other questions have we got? You seem like a pretty cool dude. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You're a cool dude too, if you're watching this. Yeah. Austin says, Stephen, what would be your strategy against the Orc list of the week using your sister's army? Yes. So, that's just going to be horrific bloodbath, that one, isn't it? My sister's army versus the Orcs. It's a tough one because both are very good at killing each other. So the thing that the Orcs have on their side is their fight twice stratagem doesn't need to be like within an inch, whereas the sisters does. So that's a problem. Yeah. So it means they can hit the Repentia, kill them, and then hit another unit. It literally depends who gets the first charge off. But my units are slightly more mobile, and hopefully then the Zephyrethrians can really do their thing on the boys. But then all they're going to do is spend 2 CPs, interrupt, and I'm going to lose a unit anyway. But the Mortifiers put out a horrific amount of shots as well. It's a tough one. It is real swingy, I think. It's going to depend on so many variables like terrain setups and all that kind of stuff. So it's very, very swingy. Yeah. Andy said, am I still set on playing the clowns? Absolutely. Yeah, can't wait to get the clowns on the table. Cannot wait. Really excited about them. But to be honest, I'm just really enjoying painting them. So whatever happens, then yeah, I'm just really happy to paint the clowns, to be honest. Yeah. And it's just another army for the channel that I know I'll really, really enjoy using. Yeah. Austin said, greeting again. Glad to see some terrain talk going on. Not a problem. Greg has said, when is the Blood Angel Masterclass going to be available for the non-Vanguard members and how can we access it? So when it is out, I'll be honest, I don't know when I'm going to film it yet because I need to be in the studio to do that. Now, I'm going to go to the studio tomorrow, but we'll see what happens because I need to film some PPE stuff anyway. So we'll see if I can get some stuff done tomorrow, but it completely depends on my timing. Then it'll be a case of editing it. And then, so it's going to be a few weeks yet, I think, because I want to do it properly. I don't want to rush it. Love your content. I recently started 40k Blood Angels and your vids have been helpful. What do you think about successor Blood Angel chapters for competitive play? Let's be honest, the strength of Blood Angels relies in their characters. So successors don't get the access to the Sanguinor, they don't get access to Lamates, they don't get access to Ashtaroth, they don't get access to, well, the big three. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think successors are going to be... I mean, look, that's relative speaking. You can always be competitive with a well-practiced army, but... it's never going to be, if you're talking about true optimized competition, then yeah, I think just going pure, why wouldn't you go pure Blood Angels? Because you don't really get any benefits for being a successor apart from limitations. So you're already limiting yourself. So hopefully that makes sense. It's weird to see without a cap. Yeah, to see without a cap is my mindset is still there. Mind's eye is still there. Yeah. The War Mistress says I was on Friday's episode of 40k today. Yeah. What are you running in your Chaos Knights army? I don't know yet. I'm just going to roll with it. I'm going to do some magnetizing, some converting. I'm just going to have some fun with that list, I think. So it might be triple Big Knights with triple thermals could be the way I go, or maybe, or I might go double thermal, double Gatler, double battle cannon. Maybe that could work. Yeah, and I got 2 of the smaller onagers, but I really like the exploding sixes unit from Forge World, so I might get a couple of them or convert them or something. See what I can do. Austin, what would you like to see demons get in their Psychic Awakening book to become competitive again? I don't want to see them get anything. No, I'm joking. I don't know. To be truthful, I haven't played much demons. I don't like this is me personally. I don't like the aesthetics of Plague Bearers, so I just stayed away from it. Bloodletters are cool, but I really like Slaanesh. Slaanesh, I could definitely get on board with a Slaanesh army. But I mean, they're super fast, just not durable. You just don't see them. They're just not that competitive because their lack of durability. So if there was any way to increase that, that would be fantastic. Yeah. Any way to increase their armor save or give them a feel no pain or something like that. That's maybe army wide, or maybe even something like the Harlequins have got, which is like a -1 to wound aura of characters. Something like that would be quite nice. Or maybe like a conceal stratagem, so you could like protect your keeper of secrets to get them into the fight, or maybe you know, you can cast a spell on them to fly. I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing some ideas out there, but hey, if they stick, they stick. Who knows? Yeah. Also, heavily depends on the type of two. People often get that they're two schools, so to speak. Also, heavily depends on the type of two. People often forget that there are two schools, so to speak, when it comes to fish boys. I'm not sure what you're talking about, JW. Artemis, glad you can make it as well. I'm excited to see you're running. Quins, love it. Is the Libby Dread worthwhile? I mean, he's okay. He can't go into buildings, and he doesn't really buff anything. So all of his buffs are then situational. So he's all right for a little beat stick character, but I think in a Blood Angel list, you've got plenty of that anyway. In a like mixed a mixed army, something like a Smash Captain or the Libby Dread does quite well, but in a pure, I don't think you need it. Jonathan said, "Are GSC any good now?" GSC were my first army pre-codex, and I initially had success with their when in their codex drop. However, now people know their tricks. I think they are very easy to play around. Any ideas? I mean, I think there's just, you're right. They're a very tricky list. Now, bear in mind, because the meta shifted away from them slightly as they were very, people will become the nuances and the minutiae of how their tricks work. People will become a little bit rusty with them. And this is where you as a player can really capitalize on that. It's just knowing your army inside out and sort of going for units that are very good. Again, in like this lesson I've just done on the academy, I'll be honest, I learned so much from teaching these lessons. You wouldn't believe I made an entire matrix of how my brain works when it comes to secondary selection simply on the table, or list construction based on the terrain at an event. It's crazy when I actually start to put some of this stuff. And like I said, I had to talk to Jack for about an hour to help me sort of get all this out. And then I was like, Jack, have I missed anything? Because I have a bias of a combat player. So I need to make sure that, and Jack's a gunline player, so he's that perfect critical mindset for me to bounce off to say, look, I don't want to miss anything. So it's just so much to go into it. Terrain and the board can massively impact Gene Stealer Cult. There's some boards which they will just dominate on, and there's some others which they're going to really struggle on. So that then will really affect your build. You go a bit more down the guard route, take some tank commanders and stuff to help you out in the harder matchups. I don't know. There's options. You know, do you put in some hive guard for some indirect shooting? That would all, you know, is all on this academy in terms of knowing when you should dip in and use those units. So yeah, for me, it's all about using the academy knowledge to really get the most out of your codex and your rules and stuff. So yeah, it's just there to accentuate some of the information that you already know because you know your army. You can read the codex, but it's actually how you start to use it and implement that knowledge on the tabletop is what yeah. And again, these lives and just getting these questions, but so just think about it. If there's a high amount of terrain, then pure Gene Stealer Cult might be okay. If not, then you might want to add in a bit more long range gun lines and things like that. So yeah, just think about tweaking your list slightly. Think outside the box with them, okay? Like, they always suffer from getting zoned out. So how can you stop that? Is there any ways you can stop that? Anything that you can forward deploy? I don't know. Anything with NIDS maybe to stop scouts being able to zone you out? That could be an option. So have a look through all those books. See if there's anything that you can forward deploy. Phil said, oh, here we go. Finally caught the first time. Welcome, Martin. Hope you're doing well. What would you like to see some Psychic Awakening engine war for the AdMech? I'm not really sure, to be honest, what I really want from them. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'll let Brian, what do you want from engine war for AdMech? You can let me know. Artemis has said, I'm running double battalion. In one battalion is strips and the other battalion is checkers to help, or stripes, and the other to help them, just different colors per squad. So I'm just going to run them like purple thingies or pink thingies or blue thingies that come on, you know, like drapes, whatever they're called, cloths. So I'm going to have like blue squad, red squad, orange squad. So the color scheme will be cohesive in like a sort of blended way. But I'm just thinking about my bases at the moment, and I'm thinking about, because I'm going hot pink, maybe flowers. Flowers for the Harlequins, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Phil said, hey, Steve, I'd love to appear on a bat rep when lockdown is over. As you say, you haven't faced a triple Lord Discordant list yet. Is it something you're interested in facing? I mean, in terms of battle reps, Phil, obviously I've got priority will be to get as many battle reports done with the Vanguard Tactics coaches and tacticians. And tacticians are the guys that have graduated from the academy. And then also it will be for anyone that's on the academy and wants to get a battle report in, if they've got a nicely painted army, and obviously I can help them when we're playing and stuff. It will kind of be like a coaching day. So that will be, you know, for them really, that opportunity. So in terms of when, you know, or if or when I ever open it up to non-people in the academy, I'm not sure. But 3 Lord of Skulls, is that something I'm interested in playing? I think it's very swingy. I think it's going to be, if you roll well, your invuln saves in combat, then there's nothing I can do about it. If you don't, then they die very quickly. If there's good terrain board and I can move block, then you might struggle to get the board back. Or I just play super cagey and you'll struggle to make combat at all. So it's just very, it's either, I think it would make an incredibly quick battle report or an extremely boring one. And that would be my worry in terms of how, and obviously when you're talking like tournament play, it doesn't matter. It is interesting. Like the cagey games are really interesting. But in terms of battle report, trying to get it in under an hour, you know, you've got to, when I'm making a battle report, it's trying to make that constant blend between entertainment and education. Plus, people are probably sick of me watching me play Blood Angels by now, or talking to me about Blood Angels. So, yeah, and the Harlequins just wouldn't even be able to take one down. So, that would not be a good game to watch. Yeah, just 100 Harlequins, like, come on, down you go. That being said, they do actually take through a night okay. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question anyway. So it's something I'd consider in the future potentially, though. More questions every day. Great success. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it. Do you know what? My girlfriend Amy, and she told me I've got to say this, all right? But the lights back there, they were her idea. So full credit to her. But she said, "What do you talk about for 42 days every day for 45 minutes?" And I was like, I don't know. I think I just ramble. So it can't be too bad, though, because we always get a good viewing. So hopefully my ramblings go down all right. Oh, JW, it's not just the Blood Angels and Sisters players. Most armies are scared of the Looter and Smasher Gun spam with the triple shock attack gun. My Scars, Alpha Legion, and World Eaters and Tau, not fond of them either. No. Absolutely, they are nasty. Nick has said, all the lists you build and paint, do you sell them after or just keep them and keep building your collection? Some I do sell, but, you know, only like to mates or whatever. Or like, you know, for example, if Jack wants a unit and I've got it, I'll just give it to him or one of the other VT players. So it just sort of passes hands between us, and then I normally get it back on the channel anyway. But typically I keep most of it because, yeah, obviously I want to get a good variety of armies so I can display that in either tactical videos, masterclasses, you know, for the academy, and then also battle reports as well. And also so that I've also got a good knowledge base. I like to be able to play test a lot of this stuff rather than just giving you theory. As you know, I'm more than happy to say, look, I'm not sure, because I always think, you know, I've always done this with my nutrition consultancy as well. If I'm never sure, I'm going to go away and find out, and then I'm going to tell you. And you normally really discover and confirm information by not only gaining knowledge, but then also experience. And it's the combination of those two together. So yeah, like for the academy stuff, I will theory it, teach one of my team so I can make sure that I'm confirming my own knowledge, then go away and practice with it before I actually teach the module or set that up. So yeah, it's like what I've done today with the terrain side of things. We're talking like completely out of the box with how you would even think to prepare for an event. But yeah, it's all these thought processes that go on. And obviously that's like the same for, you could probably take those principles and apply it to whatever game you want, AOS, Kill Team, Lord of the Rings. There's probably so many similarities in that. Oh, JW said, I meant Tau, Triple, Castle, and Farsight lists play very differently. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Can Imperial Knights choose their weapons like Chaos Knights? No, they can't. They can take pretty much one or another gun. They can't take both. So they can have like a battle cannon and Avenger, or Avenger and Thermal. Yeah, you can't take dual, basically. JP Wargaming, feeling better about my list for salamanders. That's good. What you best opinion on trying to bait your opponent into a trap? I wouldn't try it. I never try and deliberately bait someone, because it's a very high risk maneuver. Yeah, it's a little bit like you're not sure. Like, in order to bait something, you're probably going to have to risk something of yours. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a bait. And it's got potential to go horribly wrong. So I'd have to be in a position where I'm losing and I need to do something to change the game state. Otherwise, there's no point risking it. And if I'm having to make choices like that, I've probably made multiple mistakes earlier on in the game. And it's those mistakes I should be learning about, not how to bait someone. Okay? Does that make sense? So maybe on the point of terrain, maybe I didn't look at the map properly. Maybe I picked the wrong secondaries. Maybe I picked the wrong side. Maybe I didn't put the objectives in the right place. Or maybe I got the wrong list for the tournament. Or maybe that I haven't deployed my models in the right place in terms of that terrain. Or maybe I haven't thought ahead enough to think, right, where do I want to be in this turn? Or maybe I've, deployed to the wrong side of the table. And now I can't attack into their ruins and I'm completely like shut down. Or maybe I've deployed too close to a ruin and now they can charge me out of line of sight. So yeah, so many different factors going on there that you need to consider. So many things. Yeah, but if I had one tip to bait someone, baiting someone's only going to work if you're good at picking up on human behavior. Because if you're good at picking up on human behavior, and if you really study people when you play them, people have a lot of tells. And if you're able to dive into those and understand what they are, then you can probably bait with something that they think is highly valuable. But you have to know that it's not valuable, then it's worthy. But then it's all about finding out where they're going to end up. And that's key. If you can do that, then it's worth it. But if you're unable to read people and you're unable to decipher that information from their body language, from the things that they say, then you're not really going to be able to bait someone and they'll just go, cool. You're out of position now because you tried to bait me or whatever. Yeah. Or like, you'll give away too much and then you'll be like, it's not even a bait, it's a gift, and then you've made a huge mistake. So hopefully, let me know if that all makes sense, guys, what I've just tried to say, by the way, because I know it's just quite a, when you start to talk about like reading human behavior in a game of toy soldiers, it gets quite serious. But you know, it's like poker, I suppose, isn't it? There's two, I always say there's two games going on. There's my army versus your army, then there's me against you. So there's two games going on. So you've got to blend those four dynamics together to find who is the best strategist or commander or whatever. Yeah. Does playing, okay, here we go. What would you bring in a Night Lord's army other than 10 Warp Talons squad for 3d 6-inch charge to tie up with the opponent? Thinking of dual Butcher Cannons, Levy Dread. No, I don't think so for that, Night Lords. I would go for triple Helldrakes, actually. I definitely have triple Helldrakes in my list. And then maybe even a Lord Discordant as well. And I think there's some shenanigans you can do with that. Maybe Terminators. Yeah, I do like Terminators, Chaos Terminators. Maybe bikes, just something quick, fast-paced. But, yeah. Or just have that one detachment and then some other bits and bobs like Obliterators that are Iron Hands and stuff. Does playing Farsight Tau resolve around 6 commanders, 3 of them Cold Stars, Suicide Bombs? And I mean, I don't like suicide units. Really don't like them. So, yeah. I don't think suicide units are the way forward. But certainly getting the most out of your suits with a high amount of firepower is, I think, the way forward for them. Brian said, so far so good. Fly with 12-inch flamers that ignore cover, and that must be for the new AdMech. If that is that been released on Warhammer Community? Let us know. What's the best way for Harlequins to deal with maps with little terrain? You have to threat saturate the board. And actually, Harlequins arguably don't need much terrain because they don't get a cover save. So it's all about threat saturation. But if you start to go in piecemeal, your opponent will pick you apart. But if you go all in at once, they've got one turn to destroy you. And if they don't, it's game over for them. Yeah. Oh, some chat about Tau. Prime Marley, we love you talking about Blood Angel, sir. Please keep passing on your words of learning and stuff. Not a problem. What do you think about the Valdor Tank Hunter for the Astra Militarum? I don't know. I don't know what that tank is. I don't know. George just said, I seen your 80 Harlequin troop in Yinkan the other week, but couldn't watch the game. Yeah, my practice game went really well. I think I pretty much tabled my opponent by turn 3, so it went pretty well. Yeah, so I mean, my Yannari list is, or my Harlequin list is certainly the way forward, I think. Loving that. McKee Reptiles, I would love to get a knight at some point, mainly as a painting project. A knight. What one would be good to use as a single unit with, say, Sisters or Ultramarines? A Crusader adds a lot of value, a lot of extra firepower. Yeah, a lot of extra firepower and also good combat as well. Brian, I'm never ignoring you, Brian. I always listen to you, Brian. Don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. Sophie said, I'm actually tired of playing with myself now. I've done it so much during this lockdown. Yep. Just got to hone those skills, you know, get those reps in. Get those reps in. Highland Phoenix. Hans YOLO said, Indomitable Intelligence Detected. I'm not sure what that is. So describe what that is, please. Thanks for the answers. 3 Helldrake is kind of wild. Consider them almost unplayable, even in friendly games. When you combine them with some of the stratagems, they become real good. And then you chuck a Lord Discordant in behind them, maybe with some warp time action. Deadly. And then you might even be able to put them in a detachment. You may be able to put them in a Vigilus Ablaze detachment if they have the right keyword. And if that's the case, you could be gone to some good stuff. Some real good stuff, yeah. Brian said, yes, go and check it out. Right, okay. I'll go and check that out. Should have checked it out earlier, shouldn't I? I'll check it out and talk about it tomorrow. If I wanted to play an army that goes sole purpose was to make me a better player by learning it, what army would you point me to? Grant, I would probably play it. I mean, it depends what your experience is, but you get good with Harlequins, you'll become a good player. If you can play well with Harlequins, I think you can play with a lot. Yeah. A lot of different armies. Yeah. Harlequins, Gene Stealer Cult. Yeah, I think that's you have to learn rapping and trapping like an absolute champ with them. But yeah, Gene Stealer Cult, Harlequins, anything that lacks durability but revolves around the movement phase and the charge phase would certainly be armies I would you know, suggest you have a go at and you know, yeah, have a play with. JW, I can see that they're ranged, but they lack anything other than tying up gun lines or vehicles. They have limited killing ability. There's a ton of adult-themed bots on YouTube. What's the best way the Deathwatch can deal against a triple Riptide Tau list? Don't engage it. Just do not engage it, because it will tear you to shreds. So the only way Deathwatch beat Tau is by holding the board and not going anywhere near it, because if you do, then you're in a lot of trouble. So yeah, every time I've played Tau, stay out their threat range, and I've always paired my Deathwatch with tank commanders. So I've let all my tank commanders do the heavy lifting, because they can sit back. So it really depends on the build of your army. But yeah, if you're going pure Deathwatch, you get rid of the drones easily, but then to be fair though, you do wound on twos. Actually, now with the new doctrines that come in play, even a simple -1 to get them on their 3-up save, you'll do wounds actually. So, but again, it's all about threat saturation, and ironically, not charging potentially, unless you can charge from out of line of sight, or using any vehicles you've got or transports to take the Overwatch, because otherwise you give Tower free shooting phase, and you don't want to be doing that. Clee 103, what would you recommend as a top tier Eldar list at the moment? I ran a lot of Mech Eldar into Marines and thought the killing potential was huge. They seem to lack board presence again. I really like Wraith Blades. I really like Wraith Blades. I really like Shining Spears. Yeah, my list had both of those units in. And I love Night Spinners as well. I think I triple Night Spinner, triple Fire Prism. This was the list I nearly took to the LVO. Triple Fire Prism, triple Night Spinner, Shining Spears, and then Wraith Blades, pretty much, with then some smattering of characters to make the list work. That was a good list, I think, yeah. Right, I'll wrap this up in 5 minutes, so get your questions in. Yeah, all the Storm Bolters with Hellfire rounds. Yeah, they should do well. Is it possible to use upon Wings of Fire to redeploy a Blood Angel unit on 9-inch if the Alpha Legion player used scrambled coordinates to reinforce? So cannot overpowers can. So you would not be able to come down within 12. But here's the thing. In all of the tournaments that I've played, I never used upon Wings of Fire. There we go, look. Never used it. So now I think it's a trap. Yeah. Oh, actually, that's a mistake. I did it once, and that was simply to take a flyer off the board that I had to kill. But apart from that, yeah, don't use it. Do not use a fire. With Orcs, if you can take the Death Dread clan, if you take the Death Dread clan tag, would you no longer be able to use your previous one? No, you should. Well, if you're taking a clan, then no, you won't be able to. If it replaces, if it's one of the new clans, then you would lose your old one. Yeah. Costello said that's actually really helpful. I found that sitting on objectives and staying out of line of sight helped in my practice game. My poor Leviathan got blown up turn 1. Don't put him on the board. What's he doing on the board? He should be in deep strike. Hold him out till turn 3. Get rid of all the drones first. Bring him down. +1 to wound. Boom. Yeah. Okay. I think we've just had a bot join the group, so that will be yeah. Don't appreciate those comments, so they can go. We don't do politics and stuff on this channel. This is a Warhammer 40k podcast. So, and seemingly you've just spammed it. I'm gonna. Okay. Right, that person is gone from the chat. We won't be having any more of that. So, if I play Worldy is an Alpha Legion melee, Red Butchers, Disco Lords, Berserkers and such, is it worth taking the Possessed with a Word Bearer Supreme Command or go full? Yeah, I think you need to go Alpha Legion with them, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Summon the Inquisition for this bot, don't you worry. It's already been done. Or Cotiez is struck with his mighty hammer. And yeah, we won't be having any of that nonsense going on. So no longer 1 free reroll every hit, wound and damage. Yeah, it's one or the other basically. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap that up. That's 40 minutes. And I need to get back and do some work. So, guys, remember, if you haven't done any exercise today, go out and do some. Okay, literally a simple walk. You know, make sure you are staying hydrated at all times. Get a good quality, nourishing meal inside you, and you're going to feel great. This time during COVID-19 is all about feeling healthy, both, well, including emotionally. That's why we talk about 40k, because it gives us happiness. Physically, so go out and do some exercise and, yeah, eat a nourishing meal. And, yeah, just focus on your health, because it is the only thing that you're going to truly appreciate. Yeah, that is true wealth, is your health. Anyway, another little phrase for you there. So, guys, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. And, yeah, see you at 6 tomorrow. Now, we were going to have a little guest with us tomorrow, but unfortunately, they're unable to make it. So I'm going to have to rearrange that guest. But I do have some more guests lined up for you on particular days. Now, I'm not going to tell you which guest is coming on which day. I'm going to leave it a surprise. So that means you just have to rock up at 6 and see if I'm with someone or if it's just me by myself. So anyway, guys, Andy said thoughts on intermittent fasting. I covered that yesterday, actually. So if you go back, Andy, and watch yesterday's show about intermittent fasting, then, yeah, you can go and check that out. And if you would like me to interview someone, pop their name below, and I'll see if I can get them on. I'll see if I can get them on. But everyone's very busy at this time. So it's, and then trying to get them on at 6 o'clock as well. Obviously, for some people across the world, it's a little bit different with time zones and stuff. So yeah, matching days can be tricky, but I'll do what I can. Right. Anyway, guys, take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow at 6. See you later.